Peace and blessings, some people. Peace and blessings. Grand Kush, 9MG TV. Let's speak on it. We're going to talk about an ex-Nuwaupu, and I'm not going to get too much into it. He got his own job, his own performance. His claim to fame is going at his master teacher to discredit the information, the discrepancies in the work, like he said, the many contradictions and things of that nature. That's not what I want to address today. I want to address the fact that some of these so-called ex-Nuwaupians, right, who are going at Doc, been up under Doc's wing for years, okay? They can't disconnect from the battery that Dr. Malachi Z. York got in their backs. And they've been doing this for years. And in the case of this video, for those who've seen this video, Larry Morgan, aka Chuck Morgan, this video was about disproving that Doc stated or wrote anywhere that Nuwaupu comes from Nuwabia. Now, I know this as a student of Dr. Malachi Z. York, that this came later on, right? And for those who really understand nine science and understand languages, we can see between these two words that there is some type of connection in the words. This video is not to talk about whether Nuwaupu came from Nuwabia. I don't care about that. Ali Drisi, when speaking about Nuwabia, right, he's talking about the area that was called Kush, okay? He's talking about the area that was called Kush. Now, we can get into the base of the word. Like Doc said, that Nuwaupu is connected to Noob, NWB. Noob is an ancient Egyptian Kushite word or term. For those that know, is likened to gold. I believe Ankh said Nubia is not a real term. I don't care about that, right? Here's the thing of the matter. When you understand etymology of words, origin of words, right? Plus the definition, meanings of words can change over time, okay? The meaning of words can change over time. This is semantic change depending on the environment, depending on time, right? Words can change. The definitions can change. All right. For example, the word nice. Okay. The word nice originally meant ignorant, foolish. But that's not how we use the term today. Another example is the word gay. If you look up the origin of the word gay, it may mean a bundle of sticks. The last time I looked up the definition way back in the day, it was a bundle of sticks. But gay can also mean happy, right? Uplifted, you know what I mean? But today it's connected to homosexuality. Words can change over time, okay? And so, although Doc uses the word Nuwaupu to connect to ancient Africans, the philosophy and science of ancient Africans, his definition doesn't have to, in a sense, connect to the past, right? By way of how historians may describe the word that he is using. But what I want to say about Nuwaupu, the main point that I'm making in this discussion that Sonnetter chopped up because Chuck Morgan was getting hung and getting emotional, over trying to downgrade Doc's knowledge. He was getting emotional. Also, there were some NOONE boos that were modeling in Sonnetter's video. Okay, they were on the sidelines talking about things that was unnecessary, trying to add their 3 cents to the conversation when no one was paying attention to them. I'm looking forward to if Sonnetter and Unc is going to have them on our future show so we can get in the chat room and rib them too. But here's the thing, right? This is what I want to point out. See, these so-called NOONE boos said that Doc had nothing to do with the BIAE, in writing the BIAE. And why am I bringing this up? Because this is where, and this is originally where, the term Nuwaupu is being used. Okay? And so, if Doc didn't write the BIAE, then where does Nuwaupu come from? And the reason why I asked that question is because Larry Morgan himself said Doc didn't begin to use the word Nuwaupu until 1990. This is very important. Larry Morgan said Doc didn't use the term Nuwaupu until 1990. Well, that right there cancels out Afroo Oonoo being the one who originated the word, because Afroo Oonoo's books are dated after 1990. Now, Chuck Morgan has a problem with the Nuwaupian saying that Doc took us through some schools. And that's funny because Larry Morgan was a Nuwaupian, okay, was a cheerleader for Dr. York from 1989 to 2011. All of those years, he was pom-pomming for Dr. York. Now, in this video here, okay, like I said, we're digging in the crates. We're dealing with origins and terminations. We're digging in the crates. In this video right here, Chuck Morgan states that 1990, okay, Doc was using Nuwaupu. He says he has no understanding of the introductions to the nature of nature has no understanding of Afroo Oonoo at this time. And now today, he's not studying the introductions to the nature of nature, never has. Chuck Morgan doesn't really study. He says his thing is the Sumerian philosophy, the Sumerian religion. That's his thing. That's his bag, whatever. But he says in this video that he doesn't know anything about the introductions to the nature or Afroo Oonoo. Ask the people who deal with it. Well, I'm one of the brothers who was dealing with it, and many other brothers aside from the clowns that he's talking about. And so here's my thing, right? This is why I'm at the Nuwaupu's head. And Chuck Morgan just canceled these fools out unknowingly. All of Afroo Oonoo's works is dated after 1990. They'll say that he wrote in 1973. That's what the obituary says. I believe that he wrote his first book in 1973. But when you look at the book states that it was written in 1993, and that's moonset and sunrise. Doc, in a sense, covered himself when he said, I came giving you what you wanted. I wanted to teach Nuwaupu, but the people wasn't ready for that. And I don't think he stated that because he didn't understand Nuwaupu. I think he really stated that because at the time, more brothers and sisters were connected to Islam. Okay. Doc didn't bring Islam to America. When Doc started to teach, Islam was already apparent and formulated in America. So here's my question. Like I've been asking, if Afroo Oonoo is the one who brought Nuwaupu, right? And this is Chuck Morgan's argument concerning what Doc said about Nuwaupu. If Afroo Oonoo brought the word Nuwaupu, where did he get it from? Where did he get it from? Now, when we understand languages, Afro-Asiatic languages, when you look at the Hebrew, when you look at the Aramaic, when you look at the Arabic, the Syriac, and things of that nature, bilateral, trilateral consonants, these words are written without vowels. So if you take the vowels out of these two words right here, it's going to go back to noob and newbie. And when you think of noob and newbie, you can only think about the Nubians, the Cushites. These dudes are mad and upset at Doc personally. Now, Chuck Morgan is trying to get in his bag. He's been trying to get in his bag for a long time to discredit Doc. But my question is, like he tried to answer here, he brought it up. He said, I was in Doc's face. They will ask me, why didn't I critique Doc's work? And I'm going to bring this up in later videos, right? I'm not going to do it right now. He was asked, why didn't he critique Doc when Doc was in front of his face? Because he was a pom-pom jockey. In this video right here, they try to clown the brother Harwin, who took Chuck off his square, made him emotional. Chuck, the rest of the panel was trying to clown the brother Harwin because Harwin chose to rock a Marduk braid. See, Nuwaupu comes with a culture. Doc brought a culture. Whether you agree with the Nuwaupu or not, or what Doc brought, okay, what he brought was a template and a black print to really what we should be doing in America as black people. Now, it may not be Nuwaupu that the people connect to, right? There's a lot of things going on with black people right now in America. We are shifting the consciousness, right? We are opening up our identity. We are, in a sense, disconnecting from the straight-haired mankind races. And that's a good thing. But it doesn't just stop there. We are a new people in America. Now, some of us may think we're indigenous to America only. That's always up for debate. I say that we're not, right? That doesn't mean that we wasn't here before the colonizer came, but no people, no black people originated in America. And you're going to have to give me some scientific proof, because in my studies and studying black culture for over 30 years, none of us in America none of our people are ancestors. Now you may say, hey, my grandma told me. Come on, man. Right? What grandmother? There's many grandmothers. And if your grandmother told you, then why are you not looking like an indigenous Indian? But anyway, we in America are going through some changes, and black people in America don't just need to delineate and say we're separate from the people. There's got to be more, okay? There's got to be more. Like culture, like religion, like spirituality, morals, morality, values, okay? What are we upholding as a people in America? It can't just be delineation. We can't just be delineating and then looking for reparations. And I believe reparations goes back to the word repair. They're not going to repair us. We need to repair ourselves. Whether you agree with Dr. York or not, the protocols that he brought were on point. The protocols that he brought was on point. And we know we got a lot of Negroes today who just don't want to get in line. They're looking for clout. They're looking for attention. Okay. And the attention that they're getting this attention based on Doc getting them to read books. Now, we've been looking at certain portals for a long time. Right? And what we've been looking at is contestant game shows for entertainment purposes only. Those who try to critique Dr. York are not moving the people at all. Have not brought anything to replace what Doc brought. And the whole time that he was gone, niggas is still stuck on whether his work is right and exact or not, whether he played the people or not. You may have got played. There are a lot of Nuwaupians who are living well, taking care of their families, taking care of their kids, based on the science, based on the culture. And these fools that's critiquing Doc haven't brought anything. But let's get back to my main point, because this is for the NOONE bulls. If Doc was using Nuwaupu in 1990 and Afroo Oonoo's books are dated after 1990, then where does the word Nuwaupu comes from? If, like Chuck Morgan says, it doesn't come from Nuwabia. If it has no connection to our ancient ancestors. Where does the word come from? Because the word was used by Amunnubi Rekafata, and he mentions the BIAE in this video. Ankh brings up the introductions to the nature of nature in this video. Where did Amunnubi Rekafata get the word Nuwaupu? This is a very important question because who was born at that time? In 1967. And if you was born in the late 60s, everybody went through Christianity. Possibly if you had those type of parents, you might have went through Islam. So we got to cancel out Afroo Oonoo brought the word Nuwaupu. And the usage of the word, right? The meanings of the word, how Doc connected the word to ancient Africa. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't find where, if I look in the Arabic in the Lane's lexicon, even though if I looked at that, right, I can't find anything. Well, my nigga, you had the time. You had the time. 1989 to 2001. You had over 10 years to ask questions. But you said in this video that you was a pom-pommer, that you was his man, that you was his guy. And so you didn't ask any questions to critique. You asked questions to be told what to do and told what to say. Now, clowning Harun with Harwin with the Marduk braid. This nigga tried to clown, and this nigga, though, in this video, said he tried to do as much as possible to look like Dr. York. Clown. He said we were all clowns of Dr. York. False, nigga. I never try to look like Dr. York. And there's many Nuwaupians, right, who never tried to look like Dr. York. See, these type of people got mental problems. They got mental disorders. You can look at Chuck's face, right? You can see what type of brother he is. He's just like James West. These niggas is pervy. There's a video out right now just circulating in YouTube where it's talking about Chuck is looking at 12 and 13 and 14-year-old girls back in the day. Gossiply speaking, and I don't like to deal with gossip, but it was put out there that Chuck was dealing with pornography when he was selling the scrolls or whatever. Who cares? My thing is, coward. It's cowardly to me. If you have issues with what you're studying and you have the teacher right there, right, and you carry on these issues instead of addressing the teacher, then what type of person are you? Is that somebody that we can trust? Is that somebody we need to consider? Is it really credible? These niggas been talking about Doc for a long time. For like over 25 years. and it's gotten them nowhere. Okay. All of this to try to get a check off YouTube, probably. And what has this clown replaced Nuwaupu with? Why are you so bitchy and concerned and worried about why any brother and sister is following Dr. York? When you know why you did it, why did you do it? When you used to be a defender of Doc, you said you was a defender of Dr. York until 2011 when them STD tests came out. Okay. Now, your brother Wu Jiao said in this video, just because Doc had herpes too, and the so-called victims also had herpes, that doesn't mean that Doc mess with those teenagers.
This is the thing. The STD results in and of themselves does not prove guilt, because it could just so happen that York has herpes too, and one of the listed victims has herpes too. It doesn't mean that he had any kind of contact with them. But what happens is people got to understand how things are argued in court and the impression that a jury will have, and so on and so forth. And then you have circumstantial evidence. You got all kinds of different evidence. You got testimony is considered evidence, circumstantial evidence. You got a whole laundry list of different varieties of evidence that's allowed